What is going on, everyone? Hey, have you ever thought about moving to small-town Idaho? A lot of people in recent years have. Small-town life is spreading across the country at a pretty good pace. People have gotten so burnt out on cities and suburbs, they're just trying to escape, basically. Like I said in my last small-town video, because of the internet and jobs that you can do from home, small-town life has become an option for more and more people every single year. One of the most popular states to find that little piece of small-town heaven is Idaho. You can find some of the best small towns in the country in the Gem State. Yeah, that's their nickname, the Gem State. You can also find some not-so-great small towns in that state. Today's video is about the not-so-great small towns and why they may or may not be for you. So if you're thinking about making that move to the small towns in the Potato State, you should watch my top 10 worst small towns in Idaho. Number 10, Hidden Springs. Hidden Springs is a planned community 20 minutes north of Boise with about 2,000 residents. The city was carefully designed in 1999. Since so much planning went into the town, it's no surprise that homes can get way out of budget fast. The average home sells for about $400,000, which is about 111% higher than the national average. The reason this place is on the list is not because of the normal things like violent crime or it's run down. It's actually a really nice, aesthetically pleasing place to look at. It's nice. It has other problems, like cost of living is crazy. It's about 40% higher than the state average. And I find that one strange because there's nothing to spend your money on out there. As far as amenities go, it has nothing. It has a little mall, but it looks like most of the shops are vacant. I don't know. It's kind of strange. And before you say anything, stop typing. We know that's just the way you like it there in Hidden Springs. Number 9, Pierce, Idaho. This place is truly out in the sticks. Less than 2% of the homes in Pierce have internet, and I don't think that's by choice. That right there should be the first indicator that this tiny town in the Idaho outback isn't for you. Pierce only has about 508 residents, and that was as of the 2010 residents, and that's down about 125 from the 2000 census. They're losing people in Pierce. Can't imagine why. Pierce actually has or had a motel at one point. I called the number listed to see if they were still in business. All I got was a sobbing woman that asked me if it was true that they canceled Seinfeld. Number 8, Middleton, Idaho. Middleton is right outside of Caldwell, Idaho, and houses about 6,500 residents. Middleton has no private schools and only has 5 public schools, all of which I don't recommend sending your kids to. The average student test score is about 38% of what it should be, while the national average is at least 53. Only about 78% of the residents have graduated high school, and that's according to areavibes.com. Now, I've been to Middleton, and it's not a bad-looking little town. They have a nice burger place called the Burger Den. What they also have is a bunch of teachers that aren't good decision makers. A group of teachers at a middle school decided to dress up in stereotypical Mexican costumes and stand behind a cardboard border wall. The photos were made public when someone secretly snapped them and posted them to social media. Before you say it, I'm not making a political point here. It is a joke that wasn't well thought out and was offensive. At least that's what you say when a group of 8th grade boys do this. These were their teachers. Number 7, Star, Idaho. Star is right next to Middleton, Idaho, and it's just as bad. I mean, they don't have a bunch of teachers dressed up in racist costumes, but it's still bad about everything else. The income per capita is about $26,000. That's 12% lower than the national average. The only thing that isn't subpar in this town is crime. They have a very low crime rate. They're doing solid there. Everything else, I mean, all the stats, they're not terrible. They're graded C or D, C minus really. The only thing I did notice is about the jobs is they don't have many well-paying jobs. They have jobs for the most part, just not ones that pay. They also tried and failed to recall their mayor last year. Number 6, Greenleaf, Idaho. Greenleaf is a small town of only about 1,500 residents, just west of Caldwell. The town doesn't offer very much, just about enough to be considered an actual town. The town offers the Greenleaf store, which is a 4-pump gas station and a mini-mart, a coffee shop, and 1 private school, which teaches preschool to 12th grade. It also is one of those towns that probably has more broken down cars than actual residents. The cost of living and housing in Greenleaf are really low. And this is really good news because they don't have any jobs to speak of. Number 5, Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Bonners Ferry is a very small town of about 2,500 residents. If you're not comfortable in the snow, this may not be the place for you. The town experiences on average 62 inches of snow a year. On top of the likelihood of getting snowed in every year, you may get snowed in with someone who can't read. The schools in Bonner Ferry get a big fat F from areavibes.com. Now, I know statistics don't tell the whole education story of Bonners Ferry. Oh, I'm sorry. How insensitive of me. I used the word story. Number 4, Homedale, Idaho. Homedale is about 5 miles east of the Oregon border and has about 2,600 residents. While the town does offer basic amenities to its residents, like schools, grocery stores, they got an Ace Hardware, it doesn't offer much else. Most residents commute if they have a job that pays more than minimum wage. Pretty much all you're going to get in Homedale is minimum wage jobs. This is another one that really doesn't seem to be promoting the whole learning thing. School test scores in Homedale are 25% lower than the national average. Number 3, Mallet City, Idaho. Mallet City is in southern Idaho with about 200 residents, and it's not a city, it's a town. It's really small. Moving to Mallet won't be easy or spontaneous. You won't be able to pack up and just go there and find some place to stay. You'll be homeless for a while, living in your car. Homes aren't readily available here, like they are in a lot of other places in Idaho. They mainly offer plots of land and really worn down homes that aren't so cheap. I mean, it's like they have some cheap homes, but they're so run down, they should be cheaper. I don't know if this is some kind of strange sales tactic by real estate agents there, but it's almost like they're thinking, if we charge a bunch, maybe they won't notice they just bought a meth trailer. You know, it's weird. On top of that, like a lot of places in rural Idaho, their education just gets a big fat F from area vibes. Number 2, Marzi, Idaho. Marzi, at least I think that's how you pronounce it. I had a really hard time finding anyone that pronounced it clearly. Marzi is home to about 1,500 residents who really don't care too much about the town, and it shows. They have a lot of vacant buildings and warehouses right on the main strip, if you want to call it a strip, that is. Marzi really isn't that big and doesn't have many residents, which is why it's so shocking that its pollution index is 85% worse than the national average. It's doing all the polluting. Education, employment, and housing all get Fs. Don't move here. And number 1, Old Town, Idaho. Old Town, Idaho is on the border of Washington. There's a street called State Street on the west side of town that separates Newport, Washington with Old Town, Idaho. Not many signs indicate when you've entered or when you leave each state, but if you look at the buildings, you can tell. At the intersection of Walnut and State Street, you can see a serious difference. On one side, you have a nice Safeway and a newer McDonald's, and on the Old Town side, you have some buildings that are in a serious need of a paint job and a parking lot sweeper. Now here's some scary stats. Only 64% of the residents have completed 8th grade in Old Town. The unemployment rate in Old Town is 68% higher than the national average. The poverty level in Old Town is 138% higher than the national average. There's less than 300 people in this town. You would think they could pull it together with a little bit of effort. But no, they've got their own agenda. Alright, so that's my top 10 worst small towns in Idaho. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you know where not to live in Idaho now. Idaho is actually a really nice state, but like every place, it's got some not so good places, and these are 10 of them. Everybody have a great day. Don't forget all the links below. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.